Cool. So in tonight's presentation, we're going to really map out a solid exercise plan for you guys. The thing we do differently, I suppose, is educate our clients so that when all is said and done and you do have the transformation you set out to achieve, you should be able to continue on with what we've taught you
later on
permanently.
Permanently, that's right.
So we're not after giving you a drastic result in the shortest amount of time possible.
Only to turn around and put it all back on again.
Yep. So we're not into that. We don't define success through how quickly or how drastic you can achieve a result. We define success on how long you can keep it. So therefore, we are big fans of utilizing the smallest amount of effort for the biggest possible result.
Yeah.
And in exercise terms, that means using less than 3% of your week. Realistically, mamas out there don't have time to commute to the gym, spend an hour at the gym, and commute back from the gym every single time, or every single day.
A week.
Yeah,
multiple times a week, or more than a handful of times a week. There's no way. So coming from my point of view, you know, I've got 2 kids. I've got one that's 9 and, you know, that's at school. So that makes it a little bit easier. But I also have a 3-year-old and, you know, you've seen my results from last year, which I had a 2-year-old. So who I was severely sleep deprived with as well. And then running around after a 9-year-old and running a business. I can't go to the gym multiple times a week or multiple times a day. Like I even see some of these fitness models and all that kind of jazz on social media that go morning and afternoon and 2 sessions and 3 sessions and all this sort of crap. And it's just not realistic for mums that have a lot. It's unsustainable, it's unrealistic, and we won't end up keeping the result. Something will end up crashing and burning. And you know, our family is our first priority. So if we want to focus on being fit and healthy, we've got to do it effectively and less than 3% of your week.
I think the message at the moment is a really strong message for doing a lot of exercise, and it does set you up for failure to begin with, because you have these ideas of if you can't do the twice a day training or the
every day 4 to 5,
why do it at all? And you know, what we want to do today is really break that limiting belief that you might have, where you may think you need to go to the gym every day to get any type of result. We want to break those limiting beliefs for you and show you real life case studies of women who have employed the exercise less than 3% of your week principles and gotten fantastic results from them. And
it's been a process too with these women as well. So we're going through what we're doing today. Or we're just introducing this first.
Well, that's just seen that. So they've been watching it.
I didn't know whether you wanted to,
minutes.
You know. Go more into detail. Well, here I am with my high pony. Means that shit gets real, right? We know this. Shit gets real when you got a high pony in the gym.
You know, I took a snapshot of a video to get this photo because Megan wanted this photo to go with fire, and it's a great photo. As you've said, shit gets real when Megan picks up a barbell, because fire is the cornerstone of any great body shaping program. What is fire, you ask? Well, it's focused, intense resistance exercise. So it's an acronym. And what it will do is it will really make your exercise sessions effective, and you'll build muscle. And what you've probably started to learn through our messaging so far is that muscle mass is really important. We actually lose it as we age. So at least maintaining it and keeping that muscle is the first and foremost cornerstone of any body transformation program. The more muscle we have, the more body fat we burn.
And for overall health, muscle mass does matter.
So you have a better immune system. You have more stored energy in your body, so you're actually more energetic with more muscle.
And you can handle more everyday, like functioning better, more day to day, picking up after your kids or picking up your kids. that kind of thing, and then being able to run around as a grandmother as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those sort of things.
The older generation would have you believe that we must, look worse, feel worse, have less energy as we get older. But we don't believe in that.
Yeah.
I think we can improve. You can definitely improve and be better in your 30s than you were in your 20s, and be better than you were in your 40s than in your 30s. So muscle mass is really important, if we haven't stressed that enough. Another really cool thing that your muscle does is it helps you to utilize carbohydrates and fats better, making you a lot more resilient to those times where you do have those social gatherings and you do eat off the plan. So building muscle mass is the only non-surgical way to change body shape. Now, you might have seen transformations or massive weight losses where people have lost a huge amount of weight, but their body shape hasn't particularly changed. Have you seen that before?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they've gone
when they've got a mass amount of weight where they've lost muscle as well as fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they're not actually, haven't changed their body shape. It just looks saggy and smaller.
And that's what happens when you use cardio and really large calorie deficits or highly restrictive diets as your plan of attack. You'll lose weight fast, but you'll also damage your metabolism. Your body shape won't change, and it'll be really easy to put the weight back on.
Let us know, mamas that are on the line, if this is making sense to you, just so we can get that feedback. If it's not making sense.
Yeah. Cool. So not only non-surgical way to change your body shape, despite what a lot of people think about weights, you don't have to spend too much time to get a really good effect from them. In fact, using just 60 to 90 minutes of your week.
So, to make that a bit more understandable, 2 to 3 times a week.
For half an hour.
For half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 to 3 times a week, 30-minute sessions.
Yeah.
In, out, done.
So it's not a day. It's not 60 to 90 minutes a day. It's a week that we're talking. It's pretty incredible. Cool. Cardio is not the devil. Cardio is okay, but we use it as a fat burning weapon. It's something that we have up our sleeves to use if we're energetic, if we're feeling rested and well.
If we've slept, yeah. And a lot of people do view cardio the wrong way, don't they? They view exercise the wrong way, where they think that they have to do hours and hours on it, and that's like the core foundation of weight loss. So I remember back before I had this education and this knowledge, and I thought, lose a few kilos, just go out running.
Yeah.
Like that's what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you find out that it just goes and comes back on again anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing is, when you do go out and all of a sudden you get on this health kick and you start to want to go and exercise every day, and it might be a run every day, it might even be a walk every day. It might be classes, and your friends start to convince you to hang around for a double class or even a triple class. You actually get hungrier. And for those people who have said to me in the past, exercise is making me bulkier, what tends to happen in that situation is when nutrition habits have gone unchecked, you end up eating more of what you would usually eat. So if you're out of shape and you all of a sudden decide to go and exercise as much as you can, you're just going to go and eat more of what you're already eating. And if you try and go on a restrictive plan while you go and try and add all of this amount of exercise,
the gap
becomes too large between how much energy you're using and how much energy you're bringing in, and you will falter no matter how strong your willpower or motivation might be. If that gap between how much energy you're using and how much energy you're eating gets too large, you will go back to what you usually eat. So this is why it needs to be a gradual process.
So let's introduce ICE, which is intense cardio exercise. So ICE training is 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. You get in there, work hard, work intensely, and then get out of there. You make it fun, you make it interactive. teamwork, all that kind of thing. And it is a potent fat loss weapon alongside fire. It can be very, very effective.
So think of fire as your foundation, and this goes on top of that. So without your fire, there's no point in doing your ice. You've got to make sure you do your fire first, and then your ice training comes
complementary
second priority.
Yeah.
Kristen's on the line. Hey, Kristen.
Hey, Kristen.
Yes, so we've got these two types of forms of exercise. Anything more than 30 minutes, whilst it might be hard, is not typically intense. As you start to spend more time working out, the law of physics, the law of working out your body dictate that you will start to use less energy as you go on. So we try and keep it in that 25 to 30 minute bracket, like Megan said.
Because you can use that time effectively.
Yeah. So with these two types of exercise now, what we're going to introduce to you is the MP 10-point exercise system. So what is the MP 10-point exercise system? Basically, it's a way for us to gauge how much exercise you need against how much you know about nutrition and how well your metabolism is working at the moment.
Yeah.
So without giving you too much information and going straight over the top of your heads with this, this is just a way for us to ensure you complete just the right amount of exercise, not too much and not too less, I suppose. So resistance exercise gives you 3 points because for the next 48 hours after a good fire session, and Kristen, you would know about this, you are recovering. So you are sore, you're a little bit tender for the next couple of days. It's not always like that. You do get better with your recovery. So I don't want to put you off, but it gets a few points there because you are burning body fat at a much higher rate over the next couple of hours.
And it is the focus, it's the foundation. So you do get the 3 points because
it's a reward.
It is a reward. That's what you need to be focusing on first and foremost.
The second form of exercise there is ice. So that's what we just talked about, the fat burning weapon.
Cardio the right way.
And that still opens up, that still gives you a few points there. It's still going to help you burn fat over a certain period of time. So whether it's the next day or 2 days. So these two types of exercise that we've spoken about so far are what we call high intensity exercise. These two forms of exercise are the types of exercise that we essentially use to improve our metabolism, right? And what those two types of exercise do is open up what we call a window of opportunity. That window of opportunity is a metabolic window. And when you time the types of nutrients you're eating, you can actually increase your chances of getting results. You can also increase your efficiency in the gym. So this is how we get away with doing so little amount of exercise. We make our workouts work the best for us, and we do that using obviously nutrient timing. This is where you get to eat your carbs too. So
you don't have to restrict, you don't have to cut anything out. This is where you can utilize your high energy carbohydrates and enjoy them, and you can get, did you say you can get results up to 400%?
Yeah, I didn't say that. I didn't say that one.
So by not restricting and by not cutting out your high energy carbohydrates, you will actually increase your results by 400% by utilizing them in this metabolic window.
And understand that if you are, cutting corners and you do skimp on the carbohydrates at this time, you're going to be short-circuiting your success.
Yeah.
So if you aren't giving your body what it needs, it will find it.
Yeah, because it goes straight to the muscle now. Like if I can be just, straight. When you eat potatoes, rice, breads, all that kind of pasta, all that kind of stuff, if you eat that in the metabolic window, it'll go straight to the muscle
where it's needed,
where it's
utilized.
Yeah, and
it'll be stored as energy inside the muscle rather than
storing as body fat.
Body fat.
Yeah.
And, you know, you've probably experienced something like this in the past where you've exercised on Monday, you've been very, very tired and sore from that session, but you gumptioned up and you've gone and done another intense exercise workout on Tuesday, then Wednesday, and then all of a sudden Thursday, Friday comes along and you're feeling tired, lethargic, and then on the weekend you have a massive blowout, right?
That's what people call carb loading.
And that's what people call carb loading. The problem with that is you've probably gone throughout the week cutting carbs and exercising really intensely, and then all of a sudden you've just not had any willpower left, no motivation left, and you've blown everything out the water, and it's all uncontrolled.
And that's where the damage can get done.
Who can relate to that? Because I'm sure there are plenty out there. I know I can relate
used
to
to
that.
do it.
Hand up. The last piece of activity we're going to touch on before we move to the exciting stuff is low intensity activities. So this gives you half a point. This is stuff that you can enjoy with a family, like going for bike rides.
Yes, rollerblading, swimming.
Playing outside with your kids.
Yes.
Going to the park and being an active parent rather than sitting on the sideline and on the phone.
Playing league tag.
League tag in the front yard.
Sprint work, is a main benefit of league tag when we have to sprint after our kids. That's
more like an ice session.
Yeah.
Cool. So you've seen the exercise point system. Let's move on now. We've got Ruth here. This is a 12-week transformation in front of us. So these photos were taken 12 weeks apart.
Yep, and these were, this was prescribed to her with her, me knowing her sleep quality, me knowing her nutrition, logging in a meal diary and everything like that. So this is how that was prescribed to her. So
I should note that this was after 18 months of working with Ruth.
Yep.
Okay. Ruth had some habits that needed ironing out. And we got to this last 12 weeks here, and her metabolism was, functioning all right. She could handle this this kind of workload. And for Ruth here, she was doing 3 30-minute weight sessions a week. She was doing one intense cardio exercise session a week. So she's
already lean enough. Like she wasn't, she's not lean or anything over here, but she was lean enough to be able to just focus on one ice and then focus on the muscle building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So over the course of this program, she wouldn't have done any more than 2 to 2.5 hours of exercise a week. This is coming from a woman who used to spend more than 10 hours in the gym a week.
Yes. Yeah. So these points, she would have been up to 24, 30 in the gym when she used to work as a group fitness instructor. Yeah. Yep. And she had very poor health in terms of getting sicker all the time. Her sleeping habits were terrible. So yeah, we had to work on all those kinds of things, but then we could bring her back because her metabolism had improved. We could then now prescribe her a little bit more exercise during phases 3 weeks, 9 to 12.
Yeah. So I want to be transparent. Look, success is never linear. It's never like you sort of start something and then you're almost like you're successful straight away. So Ruth went up and down a fair bit in that first 18 months, and this is where she really got her shit together and she did a great transformation. It wasn't what she did in the 12 weeks. It was what she did in the 18 months before that as well.
But as you can see, like if you can get to the gym 3 to 4 times a week,
yep,
you're doing really well.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Awesome. All right, Helen McGee, 6 months.
Only 10 points, yeah?
This woman was a very hands-on grandmother. So she had her kids, or her son and his partner, living in a granny flat, and she was in the house, and she would take care of their newborn a fair bit. So older woman. Still had a fairly hectic lifestyle.
Yeah, looking after everybody else.
Looking after
herself.
Everyone. Yep, everyone else but herself. Yep.
Yeah.
And she decided to come and do this transformation with us. And over 6 months, she was just doing 2 fire. So that's an hour's worth of weightlifting each week, and 2 intense cardio sessions per week as well.
And that's what she could maintain, and that's what was consistent, and that's what worked.
Yep.
Got her the results.
and she got a fantastic result there.
Yeah.
Nikki's in the group too, so she might see this.
Yeah.
This is Nikki's transformation, and over 24 months, this is what she's achieved.
That's 12 months. Yeah.
Is that 12 months?
Yeah, that's only 12 months.
Oh,
Mama's only 12 months, not 24 months. This has been her transformation. She's been able to go up to those 13 points, but again, I stress to you that we worked our way up to those 13 points, and she had a lot of habits to improve, and we worked closely with her nutrition as well. But as you can see, 3 times a week at the gym, and then with the ICE or the LIA, she does like martial arts for LIA, so sometimes it could be intense and sometimes it could be just LIA, depending on the how long it went for. And you can see that she's maintained that as well. And then in phases 3, we were able to bring that intensity up with the exercise with 15 points.
Only a very short amount of time, so 4 weeks there. We did that for.
Yeah.
And now we're in a deload phase.
Yeah,
so,
we're in a deload phase after her wedding.
Yeah.
And this is the photo shoot on the weekend after her wedding, so she hasn't stopped there.
Yeah.
She's going to continue, but yeah, like I've stressed here, we gradually progressed her along to get to these type of points. But you can see that 3 times a week, you're doing really well if you can get to the gym consistently 3 to 4 times a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. So about 2 hours of exercise a week. Great.
This is Kerry Lee. Kerry Lee has came to me when she was pregnant, so and was basically little to no exercise prescribed due to her doctor's prescription to me. So everything was all very we could communicate on that kind of level. So then when she came back to me, she had 2 bubbers under 2, and you can, most of you know what that's like, 2 under 2, or what it's like to have young babies. Your life is inconsistent. You can't even guarantee sleep. You can't even guarantee whether you can eat at a regular time. So I worked closely with her, and she got this amazing result just by chipping away and doing what she could. She didn't stress over if she didn't make it to ICE or she didn't make it to a session. She judged off her body if she needed to rest and recover, and you can see that in her body that's really paid off. And I've worked closely with her nutrition. No way in any means is she perfect. She's far from perfect, but she's like consistent in the way that she's not giving, that she doesn't give up. She just keeps chipping away. So yeah, and she just keeps getting better and better every time. Yeah.
Now Kerry Lee's yet to implement any fire.
No.
As you can see there. So that's another interesting one. There's always rule breakers. And we don't deny that.
But every time you eat, is a chance to build muscle and burn fat.
Yeah.
So by focusing on like a little bit of nutrition and doing what she could, she got this result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's an hour a week, maybe less sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes no exercise.
Yeah, sometimes weeks would go by and she couldn't do any exercise.
Yeah. So awesome example just there. And
then we're going to finish off with me.
Yeah.
So again, this was a progression, a major progression with that 12.5 points. I started off at the beginning of last year doing 2 sessions a week, and that's it. That's all I could manage because I have 2 children. I was sleep deprived. I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue. So I had to do what I could. And so majority of this transformation, I did 2 to 3 sessions at the most per week. Ice kind of went out the window. I would attempt it sometimes, but if it made me go downhill and I wasn't recovering, then I took it out. So yeah, as you can see, there's no ice in these ones.
So what you can see there is the last 12 weeks of Megan's plan.
Yeah.
But for the 18 months,
3 programs over the year last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So over the 18 months before that, there was much less exercise than what you can see there. But even still.
And I would even have 2 weeks off where I was, here and there where I'd gone downhill and I'd pushed myself too far. Yeah. So I'd have to back it right off and have 2 weeks off exercise.
Yeah.
focus on recovery and focus on rest.
So even still,
And nutrition,
at
sorry.
Megan's peak, where she has the fitness model body, the low body fat, the flat stomach, the abs. She's got abs there. She was only doing 2 hours of exercise a week.
Yep.
That's pretty powerful when you think about it. So.
And the LIA was fun stuff with my babes.
Yeah.
It wasn't ever taken away from my babes either. Like I wasn't, I have to go and do LIA by myself and run and walk and whatever. That LIA would most of the time be running around at the park.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a thing with exercise programs and even diets. I'll keep on the topic of exercise though, but when you get written and prescribed an exercise program, it often gives you no leeway or room to move, and you really do need that leeway and room to move because life is never the same, never the same kettle of fish. From
and
day to day, it changes.
With mums,
especially with mums,
yeah.
It changes from day to day. I know, even myself as a father, sometimes Logan's kicking us all night, and I'm not recovered and I'm not feeling rested and well. And then other times she's sleeping like an angel, and I am. So, there's a lot to account for our lives, and an exercise program without the weekly accountability will always end up in failure because you don't have that ability to change things as needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Without accountability and talking to someone who understands, been where you've been and gone, okay, this isn't working for you right now. How about let's try this instead? So I want to, before we get to the action tasks, I want to leave with the fact that, it's about what you can consistently do rather than the all or nothing approach. And we do talk about this a lot. Instead of trying to do the all or nothing approach, try okay, how about I try 2 sessions a week, and if I can maintain that for 4 to 12 weeks, let's move on to 3 sessions a week. And it's all about gauging your body. It's all about recording, how your body reacted to that over a certain period of time, and then readjust. So it's not how much you can do, it's how much you can do consistently that matters.
And almost always it's less than what you think you can do.
Yeah.
So just remember that.
And don't think you're a failure if you couldn't make it to 3 times a week, or 3 or 4 times a week, or every day, because I know that's what mums do too. They beat themselves up.
For years, when we had people sign up to, for example, our ICE program, I would tell them for the first 4 weeks, aim to come once a week for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you can do that, then try to come 2 times a week. And for some reason, as people, we just don't really like to commit to less than what we think we can do. But when you do that, you bite off a small bite, and how you eat an elephant.
You feel a bit more a bit more successful then.
Yeah, and how you eat an elephant is one small bite at a time. So if you have been inconsistent with your exercise for the last 6 months or more, then there's no harm in just trying to be a little bit more active every day and aiming for 1 exercise session in the gym per week, or even at home, wherever you decide to do your intense activity. So action task time.
Okay. So I want you mamas to go into the Fit Mum support group and type in workout of the week, and you will find quite a few workouts of the week that I've been posting on a Friday, and pick one of those. And you might even join another mum friend, get them along, or you could do it with your kids. There is suggestions in there of who you can do it with. And then I want you to post a post-workout selfie in the Fit Mum support group. Let me know what workout you did do and how you went.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us tonight.
We're going to wrap it up.
We're going to wrap it up here.
Much more of your time.
Looking forward to our next lesson on Thursday.
Yeah. So what are we doing on there? 1 bite won't hurt. Interesting.
That's an interesting one. That's good. All right.
All right. See you.
Bye for now.
Bye.
See ya.
It's weird, isn't it?